Today we get to create our very own story. So this is gonna get weird. It all starts with first love. So we need to build a story that fits the title. A lonely person finds love. Well, Albert here, he was very lonely, so he decided to stalk Juliet, and eventually that somehow worked and they got married. Or at least fell in love. They're not necessarily married, but his stalking paid off.
Now who's a stalker?
And then we're followed up with a broken heart. So nothing breaks someone's heart more than proposing and getting married. And then someone dies. So they do that. And then Albert here dies because he's stupid. Luckily, we should be able to do something to fix up someone's broken heart. So we'll have another proposal. Edgar is going to propose to Eleonora, which is a very fun name to say. But then Edgar is also going to die because everyone here dies. I don't know how that heals a heartbreak, so we'll just throw another proposal in there. Those two will propose, and yeah, there we go. We broke a heart and fixed one. I'm good at this. Here we're gonna have some drama. So who else are we gonna kill? Edgar's already dead. Can we kill Edgar again? No, it doesn't look like we can. Oh, we can move these around though. I didn't know that before. Everyone heartbreaks. We need to break everyone's heart. I know how to do that. We're gonna revive Edgar. Oh, do we need to kill Edgar first? Okay, so if we kill Edgar, we can revive him only to kill him again because that's pretty heartbreaking. No one seems to care that Edgar dies anymore. So we'll just go ahead to bring him back to life again. So he's died 3 times now. But then he's going to come back and propose to Eleonora, who I'm pretty sure was already engaged to Lygia. I don't know her name. He's also going to propose to her or break her heart. That doesn't seem satisfactory because I didn't get the check mark. Her heart's broken though. Maybe we need to stop killing Edgar here. Okay, so if I'm reading this correctly, she is heartbroken. She can't be heartbroken because she's already married to Edgar. But if something were to happen to Edgar, I think she would be pretty heartbroken. So we're going to go ahead and kill Edgar again. So now she is heartbroken, which I think means these two can, yeah, they can get all fixed up. We can revive Edgar and then he's going to be heartbroken, I think. So let's revive Edgar once again and then we're going to propose. Okay, so what we had to do ultimately was resurrect Edgar. Basically, he's the key to breaking everyone's heart because no one wants him alive again.
That's pretty harsh, sir.
Chapter 1 complete. Chapter 2, Gothic Tales. Poison. Drinks poison out of heartbreak. Alright, well, I think I know how to do this. So Edgar, my boy, is going to go back with Eleonora. So that means these two can no longer get engaged, but they can break hearts if someone proposes to them. So Purple is going to propose to Eleonora. She's going to be very sad about that, so she's going to drink poison because that's a natural conclusion to asking someone to marry you who's already married. Tragic lovers. Double self-poisoning. How do we make 2 people drink poison? Willingly drink poison themselves. I think we need to break some hearts again. So they're married. They're very happy about that. Now we need to kill one of them. Edgar here is always going to be the first one to die. She's going to be upset. Therefore, she's going to go ahead and drink the poison. Then we're going to resurrect old Edgar here because he loves this part. Only to find his wife dead. So now he's going to go ahead and take the poison route. This is dark, but I like it. So I think if we have a proposal here, Edgar is going to propose to Eleonora. I don't really know what happens next. We need to find a way to kill him. Maybe like that. He's now heartbroken over that. So then... Oh, so he put up the grave. That means he killed Edgar. This is just a game about creatively killing Edgar in as many ways as we can. Baron murders Edgar again. Okay, so first of all, I think we need to make him jealous. Well, let's stick to what we know then. Baron and Eleanor are in love. We're just gonna make him unhappy there. I'm not really sure if that's a factor or not. Okay, I get it now. Baron's gonna have a drink. He's then gonna do the poisoning himself, so then Edgar needs to have a drink. At which point he's going to die. Stories can use fewer frames. So then at the end, you know what, they can get married anyway. Just see, we fixed it. Edgar died and they got married. That's going the extra mile for the people in my imaginary stories. Monsters. Okay, it's time for Dracula, cured from vampirism. So I guess we'll set the scene. It's nighttime. Dracula's out with Mina. I think he took a bite of her to turn her into a vampire. So here's the crypt where Mina is going to be here with Jonathan. Nope, with Dracula. Okay, so it looks like the professor can cure potentially vampirism. Oh, he's got a stabbing stake. That cures vampirism. We can kill someone. So then we'll go to the crypt. We'll put Dracula in there. We'll put Jonathan in there. Yeah, there's a cure for vampirism. He's a good stabbing will do it. Okay, then I guess we'll just put Mina in the crypt. And also, I was going to stab her, but that works too. Dracula? No, he's already dead. He can laugh about that. Then they're going to celebrate in the night with these two. Nope, not those two. These two. See, it's a love story in the end. Just had a murder a little way through. The Queen marries. So things start in the dungeon where the Baron is locked up and the Queen is laughing hysterically about it, which seems to be a dead end because if I try and put him anywhere else, he simply can't escape. So we're maybe going to start with a disguise. He's going to be clever and put that on. He's then going to propose to the Queen in a monster outfit as we do. She doesn't accept that though, so we're going to go ahead and put him in the dungeon in disguise. Which still doesn't really lead to anything, does it? Okay, let's start elsewhere then. She said no. So naturally he locks her in the dungeon. Then he puts on a disguise. Then they go back to the dungeon with him in disguise. And she's in love with the monster who saved her.
Oh boy.
Then they get married. Then he takes that off. And I guess that's it. We don't really see the aftermath of that. I can assume that all worked out reasonably well for them. We completed 11 of 11 stories there, but now we can go back because we have some extras to do. Healing heart. So we need 2 heartbreaks here. So what are the chances that the purple lady will just miss Edgar? Nope, she doesn't care about Edgar. Neither do any of us, really.
Stop lying.
Can we just do like a weird double proposal? So if you propose there, and then we do another proposal here between Edgar and her. 1 heartbreak. I guess all we need to do is kill one of them now. And then 2 heartbreaks. She couldn't propose to him and then he died, so she's pretty sad about that. So going back to drama, we have afterlife love. So let's go back a little bit. We're gonna have to kill 2 people, I think. Probably these 2 because they're married. So we're gonna go ahead and kill Edgar. She's very sad about that. He's officially dead. She herself then dies for reasons that don't really matter, probably. So yeah, he's sad there, but then we're gonna revive Edgar. Then we're gonna revive her, and then they're gonna live happily ever after. I wonder if you could do that as ghosts. You might not have to. It's afterlife, so they don't have to be alive. Can ghosts get married? Is that legal? You and you. Yep, that sure works. But then we're gonna revive one of them, and then it's gonna be a ghost plus. Yeah, that's fine. Chapter 1, Joker levels are complete. Tragic lovers. Okay, so tragic lovers. How do we solve this? Double self-poisoning same person. So, okay, so far, so they're in love. He dies. She drinks poison because she's sad. So, okay, so I think we're good up to here. So then she's obviously dead, but we can just probably revive her because that seems pretty straightforward to me. I don't know if she'll straight up drink poison again at this point. Yep, she's not that bright. So, double self-poisoning. I mean, we could have taken it a step further by going, yep, he's still dead, so you're still very sad. You're double sad that he's dead. And then you could drink some poison. That's just make you suffer more, so I'm really all for that. Double self-poisoning check. Professor horrified at dead vampire. So he obviously wants Dracula to die. He'd be horrified if she died, though. So instead of stabbing Dracula here, I think he's going to go ahead and stab her. So then Professor is going to be like, hi, what's this? I'm horrified that you murdered that woman. And then he's like, yeah, isn't that what you wanted to happen? He still wants to stab. He clearly doesn't realize what he's doing. If we let him out at night, yeah, he gets vampired. So she dies. He's horrified. He says to stab Dracula. He doesn't do it in the crypto, so he's now a vampire. And all is well in the world. We get to make our own story today, and it's gonna get dark. Adam starts alone, finds love, and dies happy because Eve dies. Can we get it in love with ourselves? I guess it's the same difference either way, and dies happy, which makes Eve very sad. That was somehow love, ending with someone dying. Heartbreak would probably pretty much be the same thing, but we get to set the scenes now. Eve dies heartbroken, so you have to fall in love before dying naturally for that to happen, and we can have some more death over here. So the 2 idiots fall in love, but for her to die heartbroken, she has to be the survivor, and then she dies, and his ghost is there to haunt her. But if you direct your attention over to Adam, he looks completely indifferent to the fact that she's dead. He's completely at peace. And let's see how she feels about that in the afterlife. Seeing the ghost of a lover. So you have to fall in love to be a lover, then someone's gotta die, and more death. So there they are, falling in love. This time Eve's gonna die. He is gonna be sad about that. And then the ghost is going to be, maybe this has to be a love scene now that I think about it. Because she'll come up as a ghost and he won't be a ghost. He's not happy to see her here either. Suspicious. But it is still a love scene, so make of that what you will. Then I think we get to unlock a new page. Then we got to go through recovery. A heartbreak is healed. All right, well, that starts with the death because Bernard lost Isobel and he really doesn't care about that. Okay, Edgar, he cares about anyone himself. Does Edgar care about that guy? Look how evil she looks. She'd look happy. So maybe we have to start with a wedding. Mr. Tallhair is going to marry her, so they fall in love. But then there's got to be heartbreak because she's going to die. He's going to be very upset about that. And then Edgar Allan Poe is going to marry Bernard. Oh, you get special points for doing it without any deaths. So you probably just add a separate marriage in the middle then. Okay, she's got a broken heart because of this, because she wants to marry her, but she's already married. So we just have to have her marry whoever's left, which is probably going to be Edgar Allan Poe. There we go. A heartbreak is healed. Very clever. How did he get blue hair? How did she get purple hair? I feel like this is set back in time. This would be great because I'm really good at making miracles. A heartbreak is healed. Okay, so these two are going to get married. That's setting them up for the heartbreak. One of them is going to die. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. There you go. Now we're going to go ahead and revive the one who died. And do they get married again, I guess? A heartbreak is healed because we brought them back to life and remarried them. There's no challenge here. The real challenge is the friends we made along the way. Unlucky. Yeah, because everyone dying completely so far hasn't been unlucky. Everyone rejects Edgar. All right. Okay, that's not a rejection. So we need someone else to get married first. So you guys get married, and then if Edgar tries to marry one of them, he obviously won't be able to. So we just need more weddings. So Edgar is also going to get refused by him. Now the only one left is her, but everyone else is conceivably married, so we actually have to kill someone at this point, which is completely fine by me. We're gonna marry this guy. Did I just say marry? We're gonna murder him because this should constitute a murder pretty well. Then she will be free to marry whoever's left, which is her. And then Edgar can get rejected by her also, which is good for Edgar. Rejected by every single person in the world. And I feel like we've accomplished something good here today. Grief. This is pretty much what I'm here for. It's pretty much why I play every game. Surviving spouse finds comfort, so presumably we're going to have to get people married. I was hoping we could assume they were married prior. You know what? No, Edgar doesn't get any happiness in this story. So he doesn't even get heartbreak because he doesn't get to get married. Our challenge is really just to ruin Edgar's life. So she's sad because she lost the purple lady. But then she marries this guy. She found comfort in that, didn't she? But then what's supposed to happen? She already found comfort. Does she want to marry more people? Would that make her comfortable? Stupid Edgar. Does someone else have to get married and she gets happy about that? Actually, maybe the ghost comes back and it's something there. No, I got it. We got to kill the blonde lady too. Oh, but then she's not surviving. I'm really bad at this so far. Well, let's try that anyway. Edgar doesn't care. She's indifferent to her dying. Maybe the surviving spouse finds comfort if... Well, hold on. Can we just put the ghost back then? Nope, she's only just scared of the ghost. Surviving spouses. Oh, I didn't realize that was plural. So that means we're going to have to murder some more people. Edgar's going to be the one to die, and then perhaps the survivors find their comfort, and we did it without that extra frame. All we had to do was murder 2 people, then make the remaining ones fall in love. Well, they at least got married. That doesn't mean they're in love per se. Chapter 3, Apparitions. Revelation. Edgar shocks himself. Good. Edgar looks in the mirror, and then he has amnesia about his death. Edgar dies. He turns into a ghost. He has amnesia in the center. I'm not really sure what we're going for here. Oh, maybe if he gets amnesia in the center, he'll look himself in the mirror. Then he forgot he died, then he realizes he's dead, so he's shocked. Very clever how you can put together the little puzzle pieces. Rejected by own spouse. Okay, well that's easy. So you guys are going to get married because Edgar doesn't deserve nice things. The blonde one is not going to make it, but then we're going to go ahead and revive the blonde one. But she cannot get married anymore because these two are already married. She's going to try, but no such luck. With 1 extra space to spare. Maybe this one should have been Edgar ultimately. That way he doesn't get... Well, you know what? Here's what we can do. There you go, Edgar. They lived happily ever after without him. This is just turning into bullying simulator for Edgar. Heartbroken spouses are reunited. Okay, so you're married, therefore you're now spouses. For heartbreak to happen, one of you has to die. And then actually the other one has to die for them both to be heartbroken. She doesn't care because it's Edgar. Okay, so I think we've got to actually revive her. And then I think I maybe just need to do that the other way around. There we go. So now they're both heartbroken. But then if we revive Stupid, we can put them back together, and there we go. We fix their broken hearts because we're playing God. We're literally killing and reviving them. Just on the whim for entertainment. Calamity. That's a big word for a stupid Edgar. Heartbreak for everyone. This one I can get behind. So you guys get married. Obviously there's got to be a death. Edgar dies first. She's upset about that. But then she marries her. At which point the purple one dies because the blonde has bad luck. Then I think we got to revive her. But then she's gonna go the other way, so the blonde is gonna die and she's upset. Isn't that heartbreak for everyone? Oh, Edgar didn't get heartbroken. I guess heartbreak doesn't have to involve death though, it can just be a rejection. Okay, just got it. So they get married, then she dies, so he remarries her, but then he dies. But then the blonde comes back to life after all that and finds her long lost husband now dead as well. So she came back to life as he died. That's what Edgar does. He just disappoints you in this life or the next. These ones are fun too. Poison, tragedy, wrath, envy. Lenora drinks poison. Okay, well, poison Lenora. Oh, what do you have to trick her into it? Okay, get married first then, and then you can drink the poison to celebrate. No, maybe you get sad. Yeah, that could be it. So if that happens, then you're going to be so sad that you're willing to drink the poison? Oh, that's dark. But it's a solution, so it doesn't matter. Tragedy. Double poison. Okay, I feel like it's just going to be the same thing again. So they'll get married, one of them dies, the other one drinks the poison, the other one comes back to life, sees the other one's dead, drinks the poison. So that. Edgar dies first, he always dies, so she drinks that. But then Edgar comes back to life and then finds her gone, so now he has to drink a poison. Someone drinks poison twice. Well, yeah, that's not that hard to do, I think. You can just, he comes back to life, but if you just flip those two then, and then she's, oh wait, I swear I had the answer a second ago. Then it slipped away. Oh yeah, she's got to be the one to drink poison, so she comes back. Yeah, I just screwed up the order, but there we go. They get married, he dies, she's sad, so she drinks poison, she comes back to life, still finds him dead, so she drinks it again. Cruel fate. Isabel remarries. Ooh, we have a fight option now. So obviously we need to marry Isabel with Edgar. That should be easy enough because he's going to get his heart broken. They'll maybe fight. And then he drinks. Nope. So, ooh, she's going to poison him. Maybe this has to go the other way around. Oh, okay. We can have a... Ah, I see. She does kill him there. They get married. They fight. She poisons his drink. He's now dead. So Isabel can marry Lenora with an extra space to spare. She's the evil one though. If I put her there, nothing happens. If I put the goats there, nothing. But she has evil intentions. Now I just want to poison everyone. Isabel commits a crime. Yeah, Isabel just did commit a crime. Okay, so they get married. She's mean, so she's going to poison Edgar, who's just perpetually going to die. Or maybe it's going to be something to do with these two. Maybe... Oh, maybe it's someone else who has to get married. Maybe he's got to drink the wine before the poison comes out. That way she gets the idea to poison someone. I think I get it. Because we got 6 blocks and only a few options, Isabel's going to murder one of them because perhaps she wants to get married. Or maybe Isabel's got to be one of the married party in order to murder someone. Does that make sense? Maybe we've got to make Isabel mad first. So they get married. She wants to marry her, but that doesn't work. So then we give her the incentive to poison. So he wants to poison. Yeah, okay, now we're getting someone. Then he drinks the poison. But everyone meets their demise. Oh, you can kill everyone here. Can you just straight up give everyone poison wine? That doesn't seem to work. How do you make everyone die here? We got to get everyone the poison somehow. Okay, I think I've got it so far. So they fall in love. She wants to marry her. She can't because of Edgar, so she poisons Edgar, but instead she drinks the poison, so she gets sad about that, and she drinks the poison, and then maybe Edgar also just can't take it anymore, so he drinks the poison? Everyone's following a trail of heartbreak. So we have 2 willing poison drinkers and 1 accidental one. Beauty involving curse, deceit, competitor, and inclusive. Curse is lifted. In the forest, these 2 exist. Then they kiss each other. Okay, maybe we have to, yeah, okay, we maybe have to do the curse first. So the witch turns the princess into a frog. At which point, for some reason, this guy kisses said frog. Nope, he's not into that. The witch might be, though. Oh, maybe these 2 kiss. Oh. He's not into it. Maybe the kiss has to be at the end. They have to fall in love before she turns into a frog. Otherwise, this doesn't really seem to go anywhere. So now they're in love. Nothing they can do about it. So along comes the witch and he curses her. And then they kiss and he'll kiss the frog if they're married or whatever first. Nope, that doesn't work either. Oh, you've got to have them communicate in the middle. So he gets turned into a frog. He tells her, hey, I'm a prince. I promise. Just kiss me and it'll all work out. In a very routine situation that happens all the time in real life. The prince saves Tiny. All right, well, I assume the witch has done something to Tiny, like turn him into a frog. At which point, it's pretty much the same thing. Tiny says, hey, it's me. So then the prince, I don't know, doesn't get turned into a frog probably. Oh, maybe he has to kiss Tiny. Don't be shy. He'll get fixed. Okay, instead he falls in love with the princess. And you know what? They're just gonna kiss and live happily ever after. Nobody cares about Tiny. You can just stay a frog forever. Maybe it's all about establishing that first. The prince loves Tiny. He gets turned into a frog. At which point he comes here to try and fix it. Maybe the princess can fix that. No, he does that. And then maybe at the end, one of them kisses Tiny. That doesn't seem to work. I might have an idea. We take this one away, put that one here, put that one here, put that one here. Something like this. The frogs can tell each other that they're each one of them. Maybe we need him to think it's the princess who got turned into the thing, because then he'll kiss the frog, and instead of the princess, it's actually Tiny. I feel like I just don't have enough pages for that, because they've got to communicate for her to be like, hi, it's me, I'm a princess. Or maybe we do have enough, because if we put that here, we can put Snowy here. There we go. Yup, he kisses the frog he thinks is the princess, but it's really Tiny. And that's a nice upgrade from the princess, and they lived happily ever after. Look at that little beard. Which becomes the mirror's favorite? I have no idea what these do, so we're just going to have to start. The mirror apparently likes her the best. So the mirror doesn't like the witch. The mirror likes her, so they get into an argument. She does something with a cauldron, so then they meet up in the forest, and she changes her into a frog, and then the mirror likes her suddenly. Okay, there's something here about after she uses the cauldron, after turning her into the frog, she drinks the cauldron, and therefore she's better. I'm not entirely sure what I did there. It was something about taking frog juice and putting it in her mouth. The mirror praises everyone. Why do we have a cliff? Peachy? Would you like to jump off the cliff? I'm not sure what we're supposed to do here. So the mirror automatically praises Peachy, but the mirror probably doesn't praise Haiti or Froggy. And I don't know what the cliff has to do with anything, but maybe we need to maybe we need to make the mirror angry first. Oh, one thing I didn't realize before is that the cliff is probably built for 2 people, not 1. So Haiti will come up behind and push him off, presumably. Oh, we got to swap those around. So we got to put him there. He's got to be mad at this guy first before the cliff scene. There we go. Now he's pushed off. So the mirror should hopefully like, not him, because he's scared of him, but him. But then we got to do it one more time to make someone disgruntled. But then that's all hard to do because we run out of spaces. So this guy needs to be last. You need to make the other 2 swap first. Wait, that still doesn't work because someone needs to be jealous of Peachy. So we can kind of get there because the frog might be mad at Haiti at this point. Well, he's not really mad. He's just sad about it. So Haiti's got to be the one to push people off still. Okay, I realized after shuffling them around, he can just be mad at the mirror on the first stage. So that means he can push him off by the second stage, which means this one doesn't need to be here. So the mirror will praise him now. But not so much the frog, but he won't push the frog over the edge. The ghost might scare the frog over the edge though. No. Oh, I had the answer earlier. If the ghost pops up, it makes Haiti go over the edge. So at this point, the mirror praises Haiti, but then Haiti's standing on the edge of a cliff where the ghost comes up and scares him off to kill him. Therefore, the frog is the only one left. We have 1 space to spare. That took way longer than we're going to talk about. Murder, weapon, fingerprints. I like where this is going. Butler's rampage. So the butler picks up a gun, takes it into the ballroom where the Duke is, and he's going to shoot the Duke, and he's probably just going to shoot the Duchess as well because it's that easy. Rampage. Duke feels relief. That looks like relief. So maybe the butler will go there, and then it's another gun scene. So which one's supposed to go first? It's missing, but then he puts it back. So do we just have these out of order by 1? So he puts it back, and then the Duke comes back, and there it is. Okay, simple enough. Detective arrests murderer. Well, I'm assuming the butler takes the gun at first, and then he shoots the Duke in the ballroom, probably puts the gun back, at which point the detective finds it, finds the fingerprints, and then finds the butler in here, and arrests him. That one's very easy. Detective arrests innocent. I think we gotta frame someone on this one. So butler's gonna go and kill the Duke. Then there's gotta be something to do with the Duchess. I don't know if the butler does something to her here. That's not innocenting, that's murdering. Okay, so the butler puts it back, at which point the Duchess comes by, doesn't want to touch it though. Maybe this is better. He's touching the gun in this one, so we gotta start with the Duke. So he's touching it, but the butler's gonna take it, and the butler's gonna use it to murder the Duchess. Then he's gonna put the gun back, At which point the detective's going to look at the gun and arrest the Duchess in the ballroom. Nope, arrest the Duke in the... No, I've got this all back. There we go. Okay, he found the fingerprints, so it's fingerprinted to the butler. So maybe we need to get someone to touch the gun, but it's not actually a murder of that kind. We may be able to just straight up mislead things. So he's going to touch the gun. The butler's going to take it and shoot her. At which point the gun is missing. So he's suspicious of him, but there's not enough evidence yet. Maybe if he sees the Duke in that room, he'll be worried. They can't find the gun and still nothing. He's only suspicious. I can have him arrest the butler again. I can have him notify. I can put a ghost there. I think I might have it. So the butler picks up the gun, shoots the Duchess, puts the gun back, at which point the Duke comes along and touches that sweet, sweet gun and puts his fingerprints on it. Now the detective sees his fingerprints and arrests the Duke in the perfect crime. Crimes were stupid and easy back in the day. That's all I'm getting from this. Now we move on to what's fittingly called 4 deaths. So I assume these two don't like each other, so he's going to knock him off the edge, but we're going to revive him. Then he's going to get revenge by pushing the gingery man off the edge. Then we're going to revive him, and we're going to be one short after all this. But they're just in an endless fate of killing each other. I bet the ghost can scare someone though. Yeah, the ghost can scare people off the edge. So let's just move this whole plate that way. So then they're both dead and we basically just have to repeat this. So we revive the both of them and then we have them both murder each other one more time. This time he's going off the edge first and then the ghost will come back and scare him off the edge. There's all 4 of them. The queen marries. Well, I have a feeling she won't marry him. She won't marry him. The knight and the baron don't really seem into that, but maybe the queen takes someone hostage and then marries the other one. Well, it ends with the queen marrying someone. I'm just not sure why or how. Oh, after just randomly playing with things for a minute, he's kidnapped the queen. He rescues the queen, so the queen wants to marry him. That's all you gotta do to get someone to marry you, is let them out of their cage. Should have known all along. That's been my specialty for a while. Everyone sits on the throne. Okay, well, we're gonna start with the queen, who's naturally gonna be easy to put there. At which point the gingery lad is going to knock her off the edge. So he's going to sit on the throne. But then this guy's going to knock him off the edge. Or the queen maybe is going to scare him off. Okay, queen it is. The ghost scares him off the edge. So we just put the throne back and now he gets a seat on the throne. And nobody's a winner because I'm in control of this universe. The queen marries again. I think this one is somewhat familiar. So there's going to be a disguise for him. He's going to put it on because then he's wearing the costume. So he's going to look like the one who's kidnapped the queen. Then he's going to take the disguise off. That way he can rescue the queen. And then they can get married and live happily ever after. The queen marries a fearsome dragon. So we just have to do everything in reverse order now. Once upon a time ago, the evil ginger kidnapped the queen. But then he liked dressing up as a dragon on the weekends. So he can come by and rescue the queen. And then they can get married. That only took 4 spaces. I wish I did that the first time. It would have been quicker. Red-handed. Detective arrests murderer. Well, this should be easy. Butler picks up the gun. It's always the butler. And in this room, he murders the duke. But there's an eyewitness who is the detective who's watching through the thing. So in the ballroom, the butler gets arrested by the detective. Maybe these two need to be the other way around? Yeah, he's looking through before the murder happens because there's his little eyeballs poking through the eye holes. Thief, butler gets fired. All right, well, let's just set the eyewitness up straight ahead for the butler taking the gun into the ballroom. Then the butler is going here, so he sees that. The butler puts the gun back so no one gets murdered. Then he gets fired because he was not supposed to be playing with guns in the hallway. Bad butler, we've talked about this. Spouse gets revenge. Alright, so I feel like that's going to be a very similar setup. The butler picks up the gun and then the duke is in here. That way when Duchess gets murdered, the butler puts the gun back, but then the duke picks up the gun and he's out to get the butler who's going to die right there. Duchess gets butler arrested. So it's always this damn butler. He's picking up the gun. She's a witness for him probably murdering the duke then. I wonder if we can actually do this one quicker where she's just going to tell the detective nothing. Okay, well we can't. Alright, butler puts the gun back. So now the Duchess tells the detective what happened and that's still not satisfying enough. Oh, she was doing it right that whole time. I just needed the next step for the actual butler and the detective to come together. But Duchess gets butler arrested, but the duke isn't home. How would you do this without the duke being there? Because if you take the murder out of the equation, she sees him pick up the gun, but nobody cares enough. Maybe the duke is home. He's just hiding behind the wall. And then he's gonna murder her, and she's gonna tell him what happened so that they can get... Nope. Well, the ghost is telling him, that guy murdered me. Doesn't this actually work? I guess it's not the Duchess getting him arrested, though. Maybe she can be two places at once. Nope, she cannot. Oh, you know what? She can just come back as a ghost for this whole thing. So it basically works just like that, I think. Maybe not. You think that would work, though? He picks up a gun, shoots her, puts the gun back, but she tells the detective. Oh, the detective maybe needs to look at the gun at this point. There it is. Pretty sure this does work. It's just apparently not up to their fancy rules. Okay, my next idea. The butler takes the gun, murders her. She tells him. So he's gonna go in behind to look. When the butler's there for holding the gun, he's onto him. We don't need this first panel anymore, so let's move them all forward by one. Then hopefully he can come in and arrest. I still got him and the Duke isn't home, so that's good enough for me. That counts. We've done it. We've solved the greatest mystery in the world. Duchess gets Butler arrested, but the Duke isn't home. Butler picks up the gun. The Duchess sees him pick up the gun. She tells the detective that he has the gun. He then decides to straight up murder her, and therefore the detective should arrest the butler, all without having the Duke home. My way was good too, but now we're on to treason. Okay, the usurper dies, so someone's got to get usurped. They've probably got to come back and say something bad happened so we can execute whoever's responsible. Though after playing with this, I think maybe she's the usurper because I think she took his crown. Okay, he notices the crown is gone, so he locks her away. This guy comes back and sets her free, maybe at which point she executes him, which works surprisingly well. Well, after we lopped off his head, I'm a little unsure what to make of this. I guess she's a usurper, so she's got to be the one to die. So if he's there, maybe he turns the tables on her? That doesn't work either. And he doesn't seem to lock her away, he only seems to free her. Okay, so once he rescues her, she might be able to arrest him. Okay, but it seems like once he's in jail, there's no really way to let him out other than executing him, which we can do, but that doesn't solve our little problem here. So maybe we take this all back a peg. Okay, finally worked out this very simple puzzle. She's clearly the queen, but he goes ahead and puts her in jail. Now when he sits on the throne, he gets her crown. At which point the knight comes back and releases her. Then if we lop off his head, he's technically the usurper. Oh, she needs her crown back, so maybe we just need to execute him beforehand. But we can move the top two back, so he's now the usurper. We just gotta find a way to kill him in 4 panels. There we go, her crown comes back, and then I think we can go ahead and execute him. You got your crown back. Where did the crown go? There we go. You gotta do this. She's gotta be recoronated, and then she executes him. So queen goes there, off with his head. Finally. Now we gotta do it by the hand of the knight. Okay, so if it goes along and he rescues the queen, then locks up the king, we'll call him, he still won't take the crown because it's not his to take. So he either has to get mad at the queen or we need to change all the roles entirely. Okay, this might be a better course of action. The usurper takes the queen, pronounces himself king. He's very sad about his missing crown and or queen. She then gets executed by the king. But he still won't do anything without that crown, so he needs a crown from him. She's dead, so we might be able to just remove this one. Okay, the knight's mad at the king for killing the queen. And his crown is missing, and the queen won't want it back at this point, so he might be able to take it himself. He's very sad about that. Then he's going to execute him. Perfect. A happy ending always has 66% of your participants being executed. Unforgiven, knight loses his head. Oh, I'm going to be good at this one. So using the pieces here, we need to make the queen so mad at the knight that she wants to execute him. If he would kidnap her, that would do the trick. But he won't actually do that because he's too nice of a guy. He's not like me at all. Oh, I think I've got it. If she's dead, he can wear the crown. But then she can come back and she's not going to be very happy about that. Especially when she finds out her crown is gone and it was him. She'll then kidnap him for some reason. Even though she's the queen, she can just straight up do bad things to him and execute him. There might be one more step involved because she needs her crown back. So he can skip straight to the jail scene because she obviously knows he took it. At which point she can put the crown back on and then she's free to execute him. Perfect. Amnesia is called the execution. There's a wedding, a kidnap, an execution, and amnesia. Quite the perfect evening. So let's make them get married. She's not interested. So perhaps he kidnaps the queen. Well, then I'm running out of ideas. We'll give him amnesia. He forgot he left her there. So if he lets her out, this isn't quite right, but I think she needs to have amnesia. She's very mad at him now. Okay, she goes in there, she gets amnesia, and then the kidnapping is reversed. He lets her out, she's very happy with him, then they can get married. Then he straight up executes her. Okay, of the Baron. So we gotta manage to do this in reverse order, but we got her killed, so that's a good start. Okay, well, we don't actually really need the amnesia here. So if he just kidnaps her, but then lets her out, because he's a nice guy. Okay, he won't just let her out, so we need to move this. We need to give him amnesia first, because he'll forget he did that. She didn't forget that he did that. They can still, he can still get rejected, but she's gonna be pretty mad about that. So she's probably just going to straight up execute him. Perfect. If you want, you guys can have a wedding now. Perfect. Happily ever after. Queen suffers 4 tragedies. I don't know how many more tragedies she can take. So they're pretty much got to come one after the other. So there's probably some betrayal. Okay, the best way I know to do this is starting with some kidnapping. So he kidnaps her, but then the knight releases her. That could be a tragedy in itself. Let's pretend they get married. The Baron didn't get to be king though. We need to make him a king somewhere in there. So we need to skip everyone forward a step. So he's the king. She comes out, she marries him, but then he executes both of them. Because he's the king, he's allowed to do that. So there, and one more execution. I'm not sure if we got them all. That actually worked. I was just trying to execute as many people as possible. Double execution, that's the best kind. So the king and the maid had an affair while she was in the bushes watching. So she executes her. Wouldn't want to get him any worry. He might flee, and then, yeah. But we need the king to take revenge. We've only got 3 panels. But he's wearing a crown, so he can just kill her back. Okay. Regs to royalty. So those 2 are married. Not sure that's entirely necessary. Oh, I forgot about the affair part. Yeah, there's got to be an affair in here somewhere. This is just like an extension of the other one. Okay, it does get a little more complicated than I initially thought. Because we're going to have to do some kidnapping first, maybe. Either the king kidnaps the queen, or the queen kidnaps the maid. Yeah, but the king's going to release the maid. And then she said, oh, it's a queen that kidnapped me. So the king says, off with her head. And then there's a wedding. This is how most modern day relationships happen. Or maybe the queen comes back as a ghost and says, good luck with that. The Baron rules alone. There's a cliff, a wedding, etc. So let's assume the king and queen had a wedding. The Baron pushes the king over the edge. Maybe he just straight up kills her too? Okay. So then the Baron and the maid get married? Nope, he wants a crown. Okay, maybe before all this murder goes on, there's got to be some love affairs or something. Does the Baron come in to marry her at this point? Nope, they're both... she's in love with the king. Okay, so the Baron murders both of them. But then there's not really a lot of options left here to work with. Because eventually the Baron needs to kill the maid. He just needs to... We need to find a way to get him so mad at the maid he's willing to do it. Oh, I see. The only way she would be a problem is if she's above him on the line of the throne. She's not because she's a maid, but if she marries the king, which happens after the queen dies, and we just kind of revise history. Because the king's like, yeah, I remember her, but she fell off a cliff and died, so I can marry you now. The Baron's like, that sounds like good news to me. You can get off the cliff, and also... they have to get married first, don't they? Then she has to take the short way down from the cliff, and he gets to rule alone. Love a happy ending. Bernard drinks poison. I can't wait to give Bernard poison. So Bernard and Juliet are chilling in the forest. The full moon comes out, and Bernard turns into a werewolf. At which point, he attacks Juliet. Then turns back into regular Bernard, which is sad for him. Then he finds the ghost of Juliet there. And then he drinks some poison because he is probably remorseful. Or he just really likes poison. Queen gets Baron arrested. Okay, in the ballroom, nothing's happening. There's a detective. We also have a disguise. Okay, the Baron needs to wear the costume. Then in the ballroom, the Baron and the Queen, she gets scared of the man in the scary costume. This one's trickier than it initially. He's very worried when the detective suspects him. He is suspicious of him at this point. He just isn't able to do anything about it yet. Oh, I didn't realize the detective could find fingerprints on the costume after they talk. So if I reverse these 2 around, so he puts on the costume, scares the queen, takes off the costume. The queen tells him about it. He's a little suspicious, so he looks at the evidence, finds his fingerprints, and off with his head. Cured of vampirism. So Dracula here bit, what was his name? John. What if he's not a vampire? He just hangs out in the crypt too. Let's turn her into a vampire. She's in the crypt. Oh, okay, now we're building something. So she turns into a vampire. He sees her in the crypt. He asks the professor, what do we do? You gotta stab her in the heart. So, I mean, the rest really writes itself. He stabs her in the heart. That's cured of vampirism. Okay, we need to sort of expedite this process a little bit. So he sees Dracula. He says, stab Dracula in the heart, as we all do. So he does. But then we need to cure the other 2 of vampirism. So... we got a little bit ahead of ourselves on the murder, as we often do. Because then during the night, he bites her. So then he's got to see her too. He stabs her. He's got to see her. Oh, nope, never mind. I accidentally guessed it right. So because he bit her and then he died, her vampirism goes away. I thought we also had to turn someone else into a vampire and cure them. Okay, that works. Monster is slain. Oh, someone's gonna wear a disguise. This is gonna be fun. So Bernard and Baron were out hanging out one night. The moon comes out. Bernard turns into a monster, but then the Baron puts on his monster outfit, and then these two hang out together. Okay, so then one of them needs to, okay, we're maybe overthinking this to start. Okay, wait, I think I see, because if we put him here without the costume, I'm pretty sure he gets eaten, so that doesn't work, so he needs to put on the costume. They need to see each other, but then he's got to take his disguise off. Then he's got to talk to the professor, who's going to give him a gun, and then he's going to shoot Bernard. Sorry, Bernard, but that's the way it goes. Now, we could do it the other way around, where instead of him taking off his costume, Bernard just needs to see the Baron in costume form and get scared, because then he just has to go to the professor and say, whoops, I saw him. Then he's going to shoot him dead in cold blood. Sorry, Bernard, but, oh wait, Baron. I keep getting mixed up. Either way, you're going to die. Then he's like, why are you a ghost? What happened? And then he turns into a werewolf and he doesn't care anymore. Haiti murders father and marries mother. I am your father. Haiti pushes his father overboard. Nope, he does not. Doesn't push Peachy overboard either. We clearly have to make them not like each other. Oh, it has to be murders father and marries mother. I was just trying to kill them both. So we've established that he's the father, so his parents get married. He asks his mother to marry him. He doesn't know she's his mother yet. He gets mad and pushes his father over the edge. So then he marries her, and then they find out that he's his mother. She's his mother. That was a hard one to keep track of in my brain and speak on. Tiny avenges his brother. Okay, so far what I built, green guy's the father, so he must be a son. Therefore, either of these could be a brother. We just need to learn to phrase it that way. So they get in a fight. Gray pushes Orange off a cliff. Tiny speaks and learns that this guy killed him. So we just need to somehow make them be brothers. Or maybe it doesn't matter that much. Actually, I guess if the mother and father are established, then we don't need to know who's brothers because they're the remainders. Either way, let's see if we can push this guy off a cliff right now. We cannot. Okay, green father, yellow mother. So these two get mad at each other. Father hates Haiti. So father pushes Haiti over the edge, which doesn't work, but he will push him. So maybe we need to make Haiti be the father. He's the mother. They get in a fight. He pushes him over the edge. They have a seance about that, and Tiny learns what happened, so Tiny avenges by pushing him over the edge, which still doesn't work. Okay, I realized that this one's probably easier to build backwards, because Tiny avenges his brother probably by killing Haiti, which means we need to have him having killed someone here that tells Tiny. This is where he actually killed someone. We just need to give him a reason to fight someone, and we need to decide which one of them is Tiny's brother, or maybe figure it out. If Greenie got in a fight with Haiti, Haiti killed him, Greenie told him that he's a ghost, that still doesn't really work. You might have to have him kill them both. You might have to get in a fight with both of them and murder them both. I think I maybe get it now. If two people have the same father, they are therefore brothers. So if we go family here, Haiti here, and then we put whatever Greenie here, now they have the same father, therefore they're brothers. But since Haiti is the easiest one to make kill everyone, these two are now brothers, and Haiti's gonna get in a fight with Tiny's brother. He's gonna kill him for that. So over the edge goes Tiny in a seance. Tiny, the green one's gonna tell Tiny what happened. Then hopefully Tiny's gonna push him over the edge and we finally have it done. That took a long time, but I didn't realize the parent thing because I'm stupid. Edgar murders his wife. So Edgar is back, our returning favorite character, Edgar and Lenora. So we need to give him motive to murder Lenora. Okay, we can start the pieces together. They're married, she wants to marry her, but Edgar's in a way, so she's married. Maybe she actually kills Edgar herself because Edgar's gonna drink that and die. Then they're gonna get married. This isn't gonna work, but at least we're gonna learn something. Because in a seance, Edgar's going to come back and tell Blondie what happened. So then she's going to murder her. So we just need to change the players around by, you can see, whoops, this one's got to be mine and that's got to be her. So we got two dead bodies, neither of which the one we wanted. But I think we could actually build this in reverse order because ultimately it's got to be Edgar who's dead. So Edgar and Blondie get married. She wants to marry him, but he can't. He says, I can't. I'm already married to a blonde. So she murders the blonde. Then they get married. Blondie comes back and says, yeah, the purple-haired one killed me, so then Edgar goes ahead and kills her. Next up, Tiny murders Uncle to avenge his father, and yes, that gets as complicated as it sounds. So first we need to establish relationships. Green is the father of Bluey and Haiti, and Green is a grandfather of Tiny. Tiny's father and this woman get married. Tiny wants to marry that woman, but can't, so he pushes Tiny's father over a cliff. He tells Tiny about that, and therefore he will be willing to push Haiti over a cliff. Haiti gets what he deserves. Duke shoots detective to avoid prison. So the Duke witnesses these two being in love. He doesn't like that very much, so he picks up the gun. Probably to shoot the king would be my guess. Which maybe is witnessed by the detective. Nope, that doesn't work because in the end he's getting arrested because he put the gun back. Okay, maybe this all happens. The Duchess witnesses the murder, so she tells the detective. The detective sees the gun is gone, so then maybe the Duke just straight up shoots the detective. Nope, he does not get that luxury. Okay, I got this to the point where the detective sees him get mad at her and then actually shoot her, at which point he does tell the king that, yeah, this guy's got a gun. So I think as long as he sees this happen, he'll shoot the detective before it's a problem, so he might not actually need to see the scolding part of that. Because now the Duke has seen that the princess is dead and that the detective suspects him, so hopefully he'll just straight up shoot before asking any questions. Got it. Knight and maid murder the monarchs and have an affair. So we need to set up some tension early. The queen sees the king and the maid, which obviously isn't supposed to happen. So the queen kidnaps the maid, and I have a feeling this is gonna start getting very convoluted. The knight rescues her, so she likes him but warns about the queen. So she kidnaps the queen, then pushes her off a cliff. Nope, she's still in there, so she just straight up murders her for funsies. It needs to be the knight right here murdering the king. Okay, I think I have this one solved. Queen witnesses the maid and the king having an affair. The queen locks up the maid. The king lets the maid out because he's in love with her, so the king locks up the queen. The knight just lets the queen out, so she falls in love with him. The knight is mad at the king, and the maid is mad at the queen. They both murder their monarchs, and then they have a little affair afterwards. Perfect. Rejected by own spouse. This is one I'm going to be really good at. So the first thing we're going to need is a wedding between Edgar and Lenora. And then one day our hero Edgar falls into a tornado and gets amnesia, which leaves him free to marry Isabel. So then when Lenora tries to marry him again, she can't do it because he's married to her now. Now we have to do something unreasonably sad to a dog. Well, we're going to start with love between a man and his dog. But nothing can last forever. Unless you have a revival panel, at which point you can bring things back to life. So that should probably make the dog pretty happy. And then some time goes by and then the dog croaks again, this time a little bit older. Well, the dog died, but it wasn't happy enough. So the only way to make it happier would maybe be to kill the man instead and revive him. So once the man is dead, some time goes by, that way the dog can really mourn. And we're going to revive old Edgar here. And then they come back together, so the dog is now happy, and then the dog dies. That apparently worked. Even though he spent the majority of his life without Edgar, that still made him happy. That's why he was happy. He didn't have to live with Edgar. Heartbroken spouses are reunited in the afterlife. Well, clearly this doesn't involve one murdering the other, because they would not reunite happily in the afterlife had they murdered someone. So they get married. This makes them spouses. Blondie dies. But then so does Edgar, and her ghost isn't actually that bothered about it. But now the ghost can get married. And apparently that's not the afterlife they were looking for. And if we bring him back and he tries to marry the ghost, he's mostly just scared. But we need to break both of their hearts. We only have one of them broken so far. So if we murder one of them before the wedding, she just doesn't care. Nobody cares about Edgar. Okay, wedding first, then they both need to die. Yet he doesn't care because he's already dead, so we definitely need to bring him back. And then probably re-murder him? I'm not really sure. Okay, that's good. No, they're both heartbroken, so now he also just needs to die. I don't think she needs to even be there to care about that. And then in the afterlife, they're back together. He just didn't see this part where she didn't miss him at all. 3 parts? This'll be easy. Eve rejects an apple. Except if you just put her there in front of it, she eats it. So we need to judge her for that and then tempt her again. Nope, that just kills her. I'm okay with this result, but it's not the one we're supposed to have. So maybe Adam needs to see that, and then Adam gets judged, and then she rejects the apple. I always tell everyone, murder solves every problem. God is happy at everyone. This should be good. So I feel like we have to go through a similar thing, where he eats the apple, he gets punished, and she sees that. So she rejects temptation, and then we revive Idiot Stick, at which point we're going to tempt him with the apple. He's going to know better this time. And then when it comes to judgment, God's happy at all 2 people on earth. Adam watches his love die. First, we gotta create love. We do that by putting them together. Then I'm pretty sure we just let Eve eat the apple. And then she's gonna get judged and smited for that. And we did it in half the panels. Adam watches his love die because of him. That makes us a lot more devious. So maybe he eats the apple, he therefore gets smited, but then she won't eat the apple. Okay, here's how it goes. They're in love, he eats the apple, he also feeds her an apple. He takes judgment alone, but he comes back to life, so that next time they get judged, she's the one getting smited. He's so shocked about it, like, how could this have happened? How could I have not seen this coming? Friedrich takes revenge. And a guy with a mustache like that always gets his way. So I'm pretty sure Eve's gonna have to eat the apple. Something's gonna have to happen to her for him to take revenge. So she's gonna get judged about it, and he's gonna see that. He's then gonna go armed with a gun and maybe go to Judgment Land. And okay, he got his revenge. He shot the triangle. There was an extra panel, so you may be wiser. Oh, it's like a ghost one. So even in the afterlife, he's threatening that triangle. Let's have a monster one. Pet comes back to life to enact revenge. So Bernard and Isabel are perhaps having an affair. Either that or he's doing it with the dog. That doesn't seem to work. Maybe this is more what it is. Pet comes back to life to enact revenge. So those two are happily in love. She's watching from the bushes. She will not harm the dog. She might harm him. Nope, neither are going to do anything about this, leaving me desperately confused as to how to solve this particular puzzle. I think I get it. I've got this backwards. This is supposed to be here because this is the affair. So at first, they're the ones who trade flowers, and that means they're in love. But now she's jealous of the dog, as she should be. That's a pretty nice looking dog. So she takes her revenge out on it by booting it over the cliff. Luckily, we can revive that dog, and then the dog hopefully comes back to life to remove her from life. And then they live happily ever after. Unfaithful husband punished. So first of all, we gotta have a marriage, probably between Snowy and him. But then he perhaps kisses the witch. That makes him unfaithful. I don't know what the mirror does, but maybe Snowy looks at that and the mirror tells her bad stuff. And then they go to the forest where they still are in love. And if you put the witch near the cauldron, she changes form into probably her more natural state. And then they're less inclined to kiss. Maybe we're reading this wrong and he's supposed to be married to the witch from the beginning. He seems to like her, which might actually work. Because I don't think we can have them get married now because they're already married, but we can maybe have them kiss, which would make him unfaithful to the witch. And maybe the mirror tells her about the unfaithful affair. So after shuffling the pieces around, they got married, but then he kissed the witch. I think the mirror told her that he's actually in love or married to this woman, so she yells at that woman. And then turns herself into this version of the witch, and then this is actually turning the woman into a frog. But I was kind of hoping that it would go the other way around. Well, we turned someone into a frog, so maybe she could do the same for him. Nope, she's happy now that she removed her competition. But that all makes me think that if he marries the witch, then he is unfaithful by kissing this woman. The mirror then updates her on the situation, so then they're talking to each other and upset about it. And she still won't turn him into a frog, which I think is the goal. So he marries the witch. We know the witch can turn the woman into a frog. And the frog can communicate to him and say, "Hi, it's me." And the old story, I think the Snow White, the whole kissing thing, turns her back into a regular person again. That creates a whole situation for her to need to be kissed, making him unfaithful. The witch isn't happy about that, therefore the witch blasts him and turns him into a frog. And they lived happily ever after. 3 heads roll. This sounds fun. So the king or the queen is going to execute the 3 others somehow. Maybe the baron kidnaps the queen, but the king won't execute the baron for that, so we do need to set up an entire storyline. So this will work out better. The queen is having an affair with no one, and the king doesn't want to have an affair with these gentlemen. Okay, to begin with, the queen is kidnapped. I think the queen can then be released by the brave knight. The king can perhaps execute the baron for that. Nope, they need to communicate somewhere in between. Okay, here we go. If the king rescues the queen, then she tells him, "Hi, it was this guy," so off with his head. Man, I've still got to do this in a slightly different order. But so far we managed one of the 3 executions. Yes, because if the knight rescues her, she falls in love. So then I'm pretty sure we can remove the knight's head, probably maybe also the queen's head while we're at it, now that I think about it. I just don't think I can get him mad enough to execute this guy. Being a ginger is not quite going to qualify. And if the knight rescues the queen, and then the king strolls by, she doesn't say anything about the guy that actually kidnapped her. He can actually kidnap the king, so that might change things. So this guy will let the king out so they can right away execute him. But then I don't think the queen's going to want to have an affair because no one rescued her, and that's the way to a queen's heart. Maybe this is the ticket though. After that, the queen communicates to the king that something bad's about to happen. He still won't do anything about that. Clearly he's worried about the whole, kidnapping the queen thing, but the king doesn't care. And if we do it like this, where they have an affair after getting rescued, the king confronts her about it and executes, but I need the execution to sit here somehow. Okay, the obvious part I missed about this is, the king doesn't know that this guy kidnapped her, but she does, and she can lop his head off. And then the king's mad at the queen and the guy with the little prickly mustache. So that's how we get 3 beheadings in a single day. And then we're gonna have more beheadings. Queen beheads all men. So the Baron's a bit of an evil guy. He's just gonna straight up murder him for some reason. But we're gonna bring him back to life, where he's gonna get rejected by the queen, which makes him mad enough to murder the queen. The queen murdered enough to murder him? Neither of the above. But the Baron wants the crown. He just doesn't know how to get it, so maybe we need to murder the queen. Is that a thing? Yup, it sure is. So if we revive the queen, she's going to be pretty mad about that. But she can't murder him because she doesn't have her crown back yet. So we need to do something with the throne room. He gets that. So we can just slide all these panels back a little bit. So he murders the queen. She gets resurrected. He is crowned the king. She therefore murders him back, not beheading. She takes the crown back and then she gets married to the knight. Nope, she still breaks his precious little heart. So after the queen's dead though, he can become king, the knight, just by picking up the crown. So if we bring the queen back to life, she's going to be mad about that. Probably. But then in order for her to be able to execute anyone, she's got to have her crown back, so we need to knock it off him. He gets his crown back, and at least at this point she can execute one of them, and she's definitely going to. No, he's already dead, so that doesn't work. I got this puzzle very, very wrong so far. So he kills the queen, she gets revived, she takes her crown back, she sits on the throne and executes him. Now there's got to be something that makes her mad enough to execute someone else within 2 panels. Maybe this rampant boredom has her executing everyone? Doesn't seem to be the case. I think again the solution was so close. So if he becomes the king now, she'll be mad enough to kill him as well. So she's got motive for both of them. And maybe that's where the wedding comes in, because she gets her crown back. Yeah, she gets her crown back because they got married. And then she's definitely mad enough to murder them both. And she's sure gonna. Tiny murders his brother to avenge his father. Tiny murders his brother. So I think Greenie is going to be the father because Haiti sounds like an easy one to work with. So we've established who is who, and then Greenie and Haiti, well, they're going to have a fight. So then we're going to have a little murder where Haiti murders Greenie, so the father is now dead. There is therefore a seance to say exactly what happened, and then Tiny gets revenge by pushing him off a cliff. And then they have a FaceTime call to celebrate? I mean, doesn't this work? This guy murdered his father, so then Tiny murders his brother to avenge his father. Maybe it's got to be the other round, so Haiti is officially the father, so then everyone else is going to get in a fight. That's got to be the other way around. That doesn't work anyway. The extra panel is probably what I'm overlooking here, because we had established that he's his father, but we didn't also establish who his brother was, therefore. So he also needs to be the father of Haiti, and now they're officially brothers or thereabouts. The queen is rescued. Well, this one looks very hard. Well, let's see. The barons kidnapped the queen. The knights rescued her. And married? Okay, well, the queen therefore marries the knight. Or it straight up kidnaps the baron, and 2 for 1. Usurper is forgiven. Okay, so the dog's gonna kidnap the queen. I like where this is going already. The dog therefore gets to be the king. But because the dog is a dog, he bites down on this thing and the queen comes back out. At which point she uses her human brain to abduct the dog, and then she gets her crown back. And then she probably just lets the dog go because it's a dog and all this is silly anyways. Isabel is haunted by her husband Edgar.
He probably does that even while he's alive.
But in order for someone to haunt someone, they've got to die and also be mad at their spouse. So they're going to get into a fight. Isabel is going to poison some wine for Edgar. And then they're going to get married, but he's a ghost, so instead he haunts her. The curse is lifted. Okay, so let's see what we could do with everything here. After playing with the pieces, we see that she is rather fond of him. He, however, won't kiss her, and that makes her disgruntled. He will, however, kiss Snowy, and then I'm not really sure what's supposed to happen next. Shuffle things around a whole bunch. Here's where we're at. The guy scoffs at the witch. She's not happy about that. She turns him into a frog. She knows that he is the frog, so she kisses him better. Yes, that works. More with the witch, a kiss and a curse. So maybe they don't like that getting along, but she changes her appearance. He then likes her, but she's not happy with that, so she blasts him in the forest. I feel like she's got to blast him first in the forest and then change herself into the this witch. So we can just put that one there. And then they see each other. He's still not into it, or maybe he is. So if they go like that, perfect. Now we need to get Tiny a kiss. Well, the witch sure is fond of Tiny. Tiny's not so into it though. But Tiny is into Snowy, but Snowy's not into it. So Tiny's into her, but she's not. The witch finds out about that from the mirror, so the witch turns her into a frog. But that kind of has to be the other way around, because Tiny could kiss the frog, but the frog still rejects him. Or maybe we just need to move every scene back one now, because they found out that, yeah, they're frog and human, so therefore they can now kiss to make everything better. Perfect. But there's also some challenge rounds. Ungrateful Maiden and Prince saves Tiny. I didn't even realize we didn't use the prince at all. So the prince saving Tiny could just be, that. Nope, Tiny was not turned into a frog though. So that all changes everything. If the witch so much as looks at the mirror, she gets mad at the woman. Which means we can instantly frogify her, and that gives us something to work with. Because maybe now Tiny hears her plea and saves her. But then she just sort of goes, you're still Tiny, so I don't want to marry you. Because she wants to kiss the handsome prince instead, and apparently that doesn't make her ungrateful. Maybe when they try and follow up for a second kiss, she rebuffs him and goes, nope, I'm good. You have a beard. But now we need to make something happen to Tiny and then have the prince save him, and that one I have no idea yet. So she could be mad at the woman for looking in the mirror, so she'll turn her into a frog. Then she could be mad at the prince, so she'll also turn the prince into a frog. I don't know how that saves Tiny, but maybe Tiny just wants a kiss. That's all he needs to be saved. That's okay. We made them kiss, but that somehow wasn't saving Tiny. This one I definitely didn't solve on my own, but we got the answer. Witch looks in the mirror, is mad at the woman. She turns the woman into a frog. Not sure how that's all relevant or how we got here. Then she's mad at Tiny, so she turns Tiny into a frog. The woman then communicates with him. Oh, it's a trick. They're misplacing the frogs. I see how they got here. It's just very hard to solve if you don't already know the solution. The prince thought he was saving her, but he kissed Tiny.